know. If you've been
Hey,
watching, I
hey,
apologize. Now it says
we're
we're live.
live.
What's up? There we
Oh,
are. I don't know how Josh was talking to me, but here we are. If you guys were somehow watching this before I went live, I apologize. We got it figured out now, and here we go. Welcome, 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 welcome to the Money Line. Matt, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good, man. How you?
Oh, this is
Can you
this is awesome.
can you still hear me?
Are you there? What happened? Did I freeze?
Well, I you didn't freeze. Look, hey,
Are you good?
Jamie always has technical difficulties, guys. I can hear him, so you know what? I may have to kick him out of the. If there was a little option here for me to kick him out, I would, but obviously that's not an option. But hey, guys, we're having little technical difficulties. No show runs smooth with us. We just go with the flow, guys. So
I think we're good now. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. Yeah.
Oh, good. I hear you. I don't know. Everything's great. This is super. And start to the show. Well, lucky we have a lot of fun to talk about today. Hopefully this will work. I don't know what's going on, but Josh is laughing. He's having a good time. And yeah, we're off. Let's start with trade deadline day. As exciting as it is in the NHL, a lot to talk about here. Where do you want to start, Mr. Matthew?
Well, I got to say, it's one of my favorite, days of the year. Going back to high school, I used to always make sure I had this day off because I just loved being around and hearing all the rumors of, potential trades, teams going to do this and do that. And, let's be honest, 94.6% of them do not happen. But, they get all excited and stuff. But, let's start off with, we always talk about the Leafs, right?
Of
And,
course, there was a lot.
there was a few trades. We can talk about the one that was made yesterday and then the one today. So what do you think of the moves? Getting
I
Foligno
love.
and
Hey, I love
Hutton.
him. I love him. There was a few moves. Where they got Riley Nash a couple days ago, which I like that pickup. I think that's going to be a good one. Um, Felino, we talked about it on the last show, man. I said that would be like I think that he's a good fit here. The more I thought about it, the more I liked it. Now that it's happened, I like it even more. I think that Dubas is an absolute genius the way he pulled that off. They're only retaining 25%. They're only paying 25% of his salary. The way they swung that, the people that are thinking we pay too much for a first round pick for him, I think you need to reevaluate stuff. This is a year where they're built to win. They're going all in. The draft itself is going to be a weird year this year. The Leafs are going to have a very low pick in the first round. So those people that are all upset that Taylor, as we were talking about it, that um, Hall got dished out to Boston, which sucks for Leafs fans, but just because it's Boston more than anything. But I love this Foligno move, man, and he's gonna come in here. He's gonna get. It sounds like he's taking Dad's old number. For
Oh,
those of you that don't
I didn't know
know,
that. So that's awesome.
yeah, yeah, it's 71 apparently. That Mike Foligno used to wear for the Leafs back in the old 92, 93, and you see it on Twitter, all kinds of people going bananas. Gilmore was welcoming him, and Joe Bowen welcoming him. Like everybody knows him from when he was a kid, right? When his dad played here, so people are really excited. He's excited, and it's
You know what?
awesome.
Petition starting now. Bring back his dad's helmet. That'd be awesome
Ken,
if he rocked that. So,
Ken
uh,
Reed, Ken Reed actually tweeted that too. He said
no way.
somebody actually said start the petition, and Ken Reed said I'm signing it. So I saw that on Twitter today too. So good call, Matt.
It's
Right
funny
on the
because
ball with that one.
I'm not on Twitter, but as soon as we were thinking of Flino and doing his little dance there for that game-winning
Jumping.
goal. So,
Yeah.
but a
So
few things
let's
that
let's do it again.
you did touch base there on. I wanted to talk about the draft this year. What a weird draft
Hmm.
this is going to be.
Gonna be
It's
nuts.
also a very weak draft this year, and the Leafs pick in the first round is going to be bottom 8 to 10, like at the worst or at the best. So giving up that first rounder is they had to do it this year. I'm just happy that they didn't get rid of any prospects. They were talking about Robertson was in play. So it, one person that probably was pretty thankful to be sticking around is Kerfoot. He was rumored to be part of every trade.
Yeah.
Now, I got a question for you, James. I looked at the lineup tonight, watched most of the game tonight, and obviously Nylander's out, and so was Foligno wasn't there. So
Right.
I'm going to ask you, which two forwards are going to be the odd man out on this lineup when it comes,
So,
if everyone's healthy?
yeah, yeah. So it's super interesting what they're going to be able to do with this team now. Like I said, this I don't know, man. You look at this team from top to bottom, and I don't know if I've ever seen a deeper team. Because again, they're like the Jays, but deeper. Like you're gonna have guys that belong on this, like on the ice, that are not going to be playing. And again, you're going to the playoffs, so guys are going to get banged up. There's going to be injuries, but to me, the lineup that where I would be sitting, it's such a tough call. But like you said, Robertson came back tonight, so that was a big one, right? That's another one of those guys that comes in and it's almost like a trade deadline move because he's been out all season, and now you got this fast kid that's coming in again. So I really like the shuffling and the moves that they can make. But yeah, the odd man out is going to be tough. For me, I think that as well he's playing and as good he's been, Engvall would be one that I'd kind of look at sitting. Um,
That's a for sure one. I see Josh is throwing it in the comments here. But yeah,
oh,
for
nice,
sure,
yeah, yeah, that's what I'd say.
Engvall's got to go. He's one guy that's disappointed me this year. I really thought he would take the next step, but now we
Yeah,
got competition now. Guys don't want to take
big
a
time.
couple off nights, right? But I had a hard time with this one, and I have a feeling it might be Robertson. That might be the
I
other
think it
guy
would
out.
be. I think it
But
would be. You know what? It would make sense. He's super young. Like technically, it's his rookie year this year. I think. I don't think he played enough games last year. Did he? I mean,
no, I don't think so.
either way, he's super young. They have so much depth and so much talent. Maybe he can, play the hot hand, play whoever's there, whoever's playing well, because it's deep. I was looking at this team, and even just playing with the lineup would be so much fun to do, man. Like you look at this, you're like, I like looking at those those first two lines are unbelievable. You can match those up however you want. You think like Tavares, Nylander, and Foligno. That's a pretty solid line. You got the grinder, a guy that can snipe, a guy that can kind of back check. Like you kind of got it all, and then you got that Hyman Matthews Marner line has been, they've been great. So you kind of keep that intact. You can play around with this so much, man. Like you got Wayne Simmons, you can move up to the top six anytime.
Yeah.
It's deep,
So
man.
the one thing, and Felino's not brought into this team for scoring at all. He'll be
No.
out there killing penalties, blocking shots, for that draw late in the game.
Yeah,
And this team's got tons of leadership. Between
big time.
Thornton, Simmons, like we still have Tavares, who's been around a while. The leadership on this team is huge, and I really do. It's going to be competition. And one guy, I'm going to say it right now because I really love the deal when it happened. Galchenyuk. I really
Yeah,
think,
he's played amazing too.
this guy's stepped up. In his career, he's been tossed around from team to team. I really think he's starting to play well. I saw him there tonight, and he's giving it 110% every shift. So
Yeah,
that's one guy. I even love the deal when they made it. It was simply,
it's a good trade.
and for people that don't know, you're only allowed to have 50 NHL contracts, and the Leafs gave up two for one essentially, so it freed up a roster spot, so they were able to acquire people at the deadline. The Folinos and Ben Hutton. Ben Hutton,
Yeah,
for a fifth round pick, gives us more depth on defense, and
completely.
people don't talk so much about our defense, but they've been solid. Zach Bogosian, what a great signing.
Yeah, such a good
Um,
signing.
you take the reward's huge. The signing minimum, like I don't even know. I think we might even sign for $1 million a year, maybe.
Yeah,
So it's super awesome. I'm glad they made the deal for Hutton, though. It was approaching 3 o'clock, and I'm like, oh man, they just got to get that defenseman, and sure enough, it came in. So
yeah,
I'm really happy. And I know we've talked about it too in the past too. Goaltending. We got Riddick. Riddick, is that how you say
yep.
it from Gun
Riddick, yeah,
for a
yeah.
third rounder? And it's a
That's a
definitely
good pickup right there too.
it's a depth move, and they're looking on to next year. It's really bizarre what's going on with Anderson. Um,
Yeah,
and makes me wonder, is he hurt or is he not? Because they said he's going to be ready for the playoffs.
yeah. It's very, very odd. Like you said, right now it's such a strange thing. So he's on the injured list, and they can take his basically his contract off the books. So that opened up some money room. Yeah, they're saying he's going to be back for the playoffs. I'd heard he was done for the year. There's such weird things going on there. It's very odd. Um, but yeah, I think Riddick, he was a phenomenal story last year or 2 years ago. Whenever he broke into the league, he was just unbelievable, just stealing the show. And he's been okay in Calgary. I think
Yeah.
the change of scenery will be good for him. And like you said, depth move. I think that now with Jack Campbell finally losing tonight for the first time this season, that
And
NHL record that he had going, 11 straight,
yeah,
ends
what a, that,
tonight.
that's
But he's fantastic,
and you know what, the team rallies behind him. They just,
big time.
he's, got a great little story behind him and stuff. And he's, talks about the mental health struggles he had and stuff. He was a highly touted,
Yeah.
and
Uh,
he was down in the ECHL, and he worked his way up. Just shows you, how much, if you work hard, you can achieve your goals and stuff. So
Yeah,
um,
it's interesting with him, the mental toughness there and where he's come, and just like his story is phenomenal. And now him getting the chance to be the number one. Yeah, he was an 11th overall pick. I'm pretty sure he won the gold with the U.S. Junior team, and just a fantastic goalie, like great locker room guy. The guy, like you said, the guys love him there, and yeah, his story is just quite good, and he's a very, very strong goalie. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. And now you're deep everywhere. Like you said,
yeah.
the Hutton pickup is fantastic as just another depth move. Like maybe he doesn't even dress, but having that toughness, having that solid defenseman back there,
And you'll need them.
it's
Someone will get hurt come playoff time, maybe out for a
for
couple
sure.
games. Um, so uh, yeah, so I really love that deal. So
Hmm.
another thing too, I want to move on a little bit just because
Sure.
I may have to jet here in about 5-10 minutes, but hey, we'll get this in. Um, I'm just sending a quick text message here. And so the one thing I want to ask you is, who do you think is the winner at the trade deadline?
Ooh, that's a tough. There's a few. I mean, Tampa always doing their thing, right? They're like Iserman. Um, I read that I don't even know the like some of the moves that happened today. I was like not overly paying too much attention to anything else. I was pretty impressed with what the Leafs did. That Hall trade was interesting too. But yeah, the Leafs I think are huge winners to me. Just that like the team's already so strong. They already have that depth, and now just adding to that. Like I think they're just built, man. They're built to win. They have the depth. They're going to be really hard to beat. But besides that, yeah, I don't know who you liking? Who do you think did
So,
some good stuff?
I got to say the Leafs are winners at this deadline for sure. And, I have to say, though, Detroit traded, Mantha, which was surprising, but the
That trade
return
was
was
phenomenal.
massive,
Yeah,
Jacob Vrana, Panic, a
and
first and
first
a
and
second.
second. Yeah,
So,
that
you know
trade
what?
was nuts.
That was awesome. That came in late, but
Yeah,
and I also think Mantha can turn his career around. Well, it's not that he's
yeah,
had a bad career, but he'll be able to. Um, I really like that deal for sure. So
yeah.
I think that was they were winners as well as the Leafs. And sometimes I'm just trying to think of teams that were looking to add that didn't.
Hmm.
They could be the potential losers and stuff. Um, the couple deals or the one deal that threw me off was Adam Gaudette in Vancouver. They
Yeah,
kind of just given up on him, and
yeah.
so he's gone. And you know what, Jamie? I believe we talked about it on the last episode or the one before. A little dark horse team to win the Stanley Cup, and I don't know why, but the Florida Panthers getting Sam
Yeah,
Bennett.
that was a nice move for them.
Some people may have said, Bennett was a first rounder. So they gave
Yeah,
up a second rounder to get him, and hopefully he can turn things around. He's got Barkov, Huberto. There's some good players over there.
yeah.
And one guy, and I don't know why, this is just a personal player, and he's not even that great. But Eric Goodbranson, I believe he went to Nashville for a seventh rounder. Every trade deadline, this guy's available. And I'm always like, why not bring this guy in, for his
Yeah.
toughness. But then someone said today he hasn't even been in a fight yet this year. But you know what? It's just that present. No one's going to push your young guys around if you have players like that. So, that's just one guy that I absolutely I like as well. One guy, too, that I believe Montreal got was defenseman Eric Gustafson. He was gone for a seventh rounder as well. And people forget, I believe it was 2 years ago, this guy had 50 points in Chicago as a defenseman. So, take the risk, seventh rounder, why not, right? So that was good.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, man, those are some. I'm glad you brought up the Mantha one because that was one that I blew my mind. I was like, that is a good trade. I mean, it's good for both, right? Washington, maybe things are getting a little better there, but to me, that Vrana's like a sniper. That dude's gonna score a lot of goals in the NHL. Like he's already had 2 20-goal seasons. I think this is only his third season in the league. Like he's good. A first and second and panic too. Like that's a pretty solid trade. And like you said, Mantha's good. Like who knows? Maybe he starts playing with Ovechkin, and who knows what can happen there.
Yeah, exactly.
But I do think Detroit won that trade by quite a bit.
Yeah, I think I have to agree with you. They're the absolute winners at deadline day, D-Day. So
Nice.
I was just checking. I was just checking. I was hoping to see that the Jays had come back. So unfortunately, we have two losers tonight in our good old Toronto team. So we'll have to be able to bounce back. We got Toronto and Calgary tomorrow night, a little back-to-back situation. Too bad we couldn't see Riddick play, but it's got to. Oh wait, he doesn't have to go into quarantine. No, because he's coming from. You know what? He's playing against his former team tomorrow night. How awesome would that be?
Ooh, that'd be sweet. That'd be pretty sweet. Let's cross the finger. Why not? It could very well be, right?
Yeah, exactly.
To me, that's the instant move is Hutchison has to go get sent down, and I don't know. I feel like that's got to be the thing, but we'll see what happens.
Absolutely. And you know what? So yeah, we got Josh commenting here. Boom. So James, so you know what? I totally don't want to do this to you because we're only 17 minutes in, but I do have to go. I got a little bit of an emergency to attend to, but everything's all good.
Paul's right.
Everything's all good. But we will come back for sure, guys. I'm not sure when, but I'm just going to throw it out there right now because I want to throw my pick in because I'm like, I got to come up with a pick. I forget what it was last time, but I hit it, I believe.
You're on a roll with your picks, so let's hear it.
But you know what? And we got to talk about this little Saturday pool that we're in, James. It's a little fun, Saturday, Sunday. I look forward to it. It's
good.
You just, got 15, 17 games picking the Grand Salami. So, which, by the way, nice hit. I was more into that last night. I was like, I need 2 goals in the third period.
It was close.
And I didn't know you had it till this morning when Josh posted all the results. So that's awesome.
I honestly didn't either. I was like, when did I hit a 5-hole? Oh, last night.
Yeah. So, and Josh, we apologize for all the money you got to pay out, after our 9-week pool hiatus. I had a good chuckle when I saw that. So
that's pretty good.
But my pick doesn't come out till Thursday, and maybe we'll have time between now and then to do a quick little episode.
Oh, for sure.
I'm throwing out Carolina Hurricanes over Nashville and take the puck line. Okay, you heard it here. I'm telling you, Josh, you want to pay off your debts. For your pool, put 150 on it. If you lose, I'll give you half. Okay, Josh, you heard that? I just made you a deal. All right, and I want to see that puck line by 2. Okay, but James, maybe even tomorrow night or the night after, we can get together.
We'll get her going again. You go take care of what you got to take care of. I might just stick on here a couple more minutes. Maybe I'll see if I can pull Josh on and go a few more minutes and just talk about trade deadline day and see if I can go solo for a few minutes. And you go. Perfect. I hope everything's good. And
everything's good. I'll shoot you a message, man.
Awesome. Okay, we'll talk soon, buddy.
Okay, bye.
Care. See ya. So there you go. Matt's got his picks in, and great deal for Josh. Josh, you in? Let's do this. He's making a deal on the bet now. Let's see if we can bring him in. Give me 2 seconds. This will be fun. Let me just see how I can do this thing here. I'm gonna shoot you. I'm gonna shoot you the link, Mr. Mayu, and you can just come right on and join me here. All right. 2 seconds, everybody. Hope you're all enjoying the show. I'm gonna get this sent off to Josh, and we're gonna hopefully see Mr. Mayu on the podcast, the first guest in a while. If you've been following the money line for a bit, I might have just lost everybody there, but if you've been following the money line, we used to have some good guests. We had some former NHLers on there, some TV personalities. We used to get some pretty solid guests. Matt and I have just been kind of going at it solo for a bit. So maybe Mr. May will pop on here and we'll have a little chat, talk a little hockey, talk a little sports, and if not, I'll just talk about the Jays, as Matt was saying as he left, falling 3-1 to the Yankees today. Oh, look at this! Mr. Mayu is in.
Sweet.
Joshua, what's up? Welcome to the show, bud.
It worked.
Yes. Look at that.
Nice.
You got the setup. We should be going and shooting at your place. Look at that. All the Gretzky jerseys behind
I was
you.
somewhere else where you wash your hands, and I had to run downstairs.
Nice. Hey, well, welcome to the show, buddy.
Yeah, thanks.
Long time listener, always most comments on there, so it's nice to have you on, bud.
Yeah. No, it's good. Some good talk so far.
Yeah. Well, so let's take off where Matt left. So yeah, go ahead.
Yeah,
you watch.
I owe money. Yeah, that's where we left off.
Yeah, let's talk about that. You start this pool.
Yep.
You go for 9 in it. You're like the only one that owes money. Congratulations, buddy.
Thank you. Yeah, I was talking to somebody else today, and hey guys, let's do this. It'd be a lot of fun, It's and it is a lot of fun. It's been really good. I've tried different strategies each time. I've even followed you to the exact same you did. Didn't work that week. Yeah, it didn't work that week.
It's hilarious.
I think you won the week after.
I've been doing all right. I'm pretty much like win every third week, I guess, on average.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been a ton of fun,
This past week, I just picked all the teams who have the most wins, right? So the favorites, but that didn't work in my favorite.
Nice jokes and everything. Nice. Yeah. No, it's been a lot of fun. I like that. Thank you for putting that together, and we'll continue. Now the payoff was after the Masters. Congratulations to Jamie Mayer for taking that down. What a crazy little thing that was. The Masters pool we did, eh? That was fun. I guess we'll give a little breakdown of how we did it. It was we did, what do we have, 6 guys. We did a live draft, 10 rounds. How it worked was you picked the top 4, well, the top 4 scores was what you got to keep, and 4 of them had to make the cut. I figure with 10 guys, you should be pretty easy, and I thought it would be pretty close. It wasn't close.
Yeah.
You were close, actually. You were close.
It was after even after Friday, just looking at where Jamie and I were, it's like we had our top 4 guys were top 10.
Yeah.
And it was and then after I was up there, and I was leading by 7, and then Saturday came, and Bobby there just stepped up. His players turned around, and my guys stepped down a little bit. And then Sunday that first 9 I was down, and I was coming back though. And but then what's his name? Shiflu?
Yeah.
You got that triple bogey.
Yeah, that one.
You got that triple bogey on 16. But
yeah,
that's good. I'll take the second place.
Hey, you got your money. You didn't have to pay in that one, so that's pretty good.
I know. I was really hoping to take first, so I'd make money, not get that money back. But
you'd be able to pay. Yeah, that was a good one actually. That was a pretty solid payout. But yeah, congrats to Jamie Mayer, who doesn't play in the hockey pool every week. So
yeah.
Thanks a lot, Bobby. Just hop on in for the Masters and take our money and go. But yeah, no, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
I thought it would be way closer.
Yeah, same. Yeah, same. But it was nice. Like some of us, we don't follow golf, but
it was a lot of fun to pay attention to it because I don't usually pay too much attention to it. But so you were making some comments. How did you feel about trade deadline day today? I know you're a Leafs fan. Let's hear your take on stuff.
I totally forgot about trade deadline. I was at work today most of the day, and I thought it was Sunday. I was
Wow.
really off, but I got home tonight and I started looking at it, and guys at work were like talking about Foligno, and I saw the Riddick one late tonight after work. I thought pretty good, and I went through some of the other ones actually just as you guys were commenting on them. Some really good picks up. Like Manta was it's definitely a good one. It was a good trade, but Detroit, I think definitely they needed that. They needed a huge exchange.
Yeah.
One really good player for a bunch of decent guys to expand their team a bit, just to give a little more options, and a few picks in there too. So, but a lot of mid-level players with a lot of picks out there today is what I saw.
Yeah, there was not really any huge moves today. There's a couple nice depth moves by most of the teams. That Detroit trade was great. Like I sent a message to a big Detroit fan, and I was like, "That was a nice win." I think that really, Meta's awesome, but I think that was a good move by Detroit. They got some good depth. They got a couple of solid picks. What do you think about the Taylor Hall trade? That one's kind of been hit or miss with a lot of people.
Yeah, I was one of the guys at work. We were talking about Hall and about where he would fit in well, and depending on where he goes, but he hopefully can himself turn his career around. With he is a great player, but going to Boston, you always see when you hear Boston, you think of a specific type of person or player that Boston likes to pick up, even like Philly. But it'll be a different mix in their form, and we'll see.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting. Like you said, he doesn't strike me as a Boston like a fit there really.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what's interesting about that is so the Taylor Tyler thing, right? That Taylor Hall went number one when Tyler Seguin went number two way back in the day, and Boston ended up with Tyler Seguin, right? Who they traded, and that was just kind of funny to go all the way around, and they probably would have taken Taylor Hall had they had the chance, and just kind of interesting to see him go there. It seems like he's pretty excited to be there. Why not? They're always in contention for a cup, so.
Yeah, I think anybody was being excited to be out of Buffalo right now.
Yeah, what a crazy story Buffalo's been, man. Like I expected them to be front runners, like easily a playoff team, and be like they got a lot of talent there.
Yeah,
haven't been able to put it together.
It's really interesting what they have there, and just I guess chemistry, or there might be something that we don't see in the background happening, but
it's interesting, but the Hall thing, I saw a picture of him and just like it was like him in a Grim Reaper kind of costume and a thing, like and showing him walking from room to room, and it started with like Edmonton to Jersey to Arizona, just like walking out with a trail of blood behind it. It's like he's pretty gruesome, but like fairly accurate. Like he's not that it's his fault. I don't imagine it's his fault. No. He seems like a really good character guy. He's obviously very talented. He's only a couple of years removed from MVP of the league. But it's just like he just can't seem to get on a winner. Whether he's only played like 5 playoff games in his career or something silly. Like,
I think like when he went to when he got drafted at Edmonton, he had a lot of weight on his shoulders too. From being first round, and he was kind of the kick it off to all their first round picks they started getting every year.
That's right. That's right,
man.
Yeah, he was like the guy out there, and it's too bad because like Edmonton probably could have figured it out, and it would have been really nice to see him and McDavid play together. But but it'll be interesting to see him in Boston. I don't know where he fits in there. It'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, he can be a physical player too. Like I'm sure we've seen him where he's showing off his temper, right? Kind of that almost like a rat sort of thing here and there. But we'll see.
You talk about a rat going to Boston with the king of the rats.
Yeah. Marchand will show him how how to lick people's
How to
noses.
lick a face.
Lick a face.
Oh man, I want to punch that guy in the mouth.
Oh yeah.
Anywho, enough about that. Let's
Yeah.
move on to the Blue Jays. I know that you've been paying a little bit of attention to the Jays. They're
Yep. Yeah.
hit and miss. So a lot of people are jumping off the bandwagon already. I just want to get this out there, folks. If you're a Jays fan and a typical Toronto fan, which I'm just going to say it, Toronto fans are dinks for the most part of the time. Like they're just so quick to like burn people at the stake. Like let's not jump off the bridge yet, guys. I know
Yeah.
they're 4-6 or whatever it is now, or like it's early. We're 10 games in. The team, their pitching has been phenomenal. Everybody was worried about the pitching, and we were gonna blow everybody out with offense. For one, we got so many injuries right now. All the guys that you brought in that we're all excited about, like barely any of those guys have played. Simeon's been there; he's been phenomenal. But like the big man that they brought in hasn't played a game yet.
Springer,
when
right?
Springer gets in, then we can, like he's gonna light that offense up. He's gonna make a huge difference. So let's just wait. Ray came back today. He looked pretty good, man. Like 5 innings, he only let 3 runs to that huge hitting Yankee team.
Yeah.
So
no, it was good. Like I said, I commented before. Obviously a lot of not say new faces, but some changes in the rosters. And to me, when it comes to new team, it's there's time to adjust and time to have to create a pattern, especially with pitchers and trying to figure out, because you say they do have a lot of depth. They got a lot of good talent. And they'll get there. But at the starting, they were winning a few. At the bat, it was really exciting. It still is exciting. So we'll see. But it's good. Yeah. No. Oh my God, they're done for the season. It's just starting.
Yeah.
It's just starting.
It's yeah. Thank you. And that's the thing that people got to remember. Like let's take a look when we're 40, 50 games in. Let's let that 40 mark, right? There's 162 games in a baseball season. So let's pump the brakes. Let's give him a chance here. Like I said, you still got Pearson that's on the shelf. He's going to come back. He's probably a top 3 rotation guy. It's unfortunate. I would have loved to see Kirby Yates in that mix in the bullpen, but you know what? It's opened the door for Merriweather and some of these young guys to get a shot. And man, Merriweather, what a story that kid could be. His stuff is nuts. You seen that guy pitch yet?
I've seen two games.
Like he's got some holy jeez, man. Like he can throw 100 miles per hour and then a changeup that's like 80. Like not many guys have that kind of drastic velocity change.
And he's got selection. He can pitch quite a few different things. And
he's got like 4 or 5 pitches. Like
when I first saw him, I was like, wow, that's a lot of letters on a jersey. That's the first thing that came out of my mouth. That's a rainbow of
nice.
Weather.
Yeah, it's a big name. But yeah, I'm still really excited with this team. I said it from the start that Vladdy was gonna have a huge season. I know it's early, but you know what? If you look at the track record and look at like the progression, it's been since basically the end of last season through winter ball into spring training. It's enough now where it's like the dude's on. He's on fire. His game's tight, and I don't see it. I mean, I honestly don't see it slowing down. I think you can see him around this like 350, like sub 350, going forward. I think that's probably where he can sit. Like he was hitting 400 in the minors. He's a phenomenal hitter. His eye, like he looks great up there now. He's taking walks. He's waiting on pitches. He's hitting around. After today, I think he's hitting about 350, somewhere around there. And I think that's probably somewhere around where he'll sit. I still would love to see him. Yeah, consistently. I'd still love to see him flirt with that 400. You don't see that. You barely ever see that anymore. But I think he's the type of guy that could do it. It would be nice to see him blast a few more homers, but you know what? I'd much rather see him just smashing that ball and play and getting the hits. Like I don't care about him hitting 35 home runs. it doesn't matter. If he's
No.
hitting 350, 400, like it doesn't matter what he does.
And I find like he's he's young, but he's a leader on the team that everybody he works with. Even BGO and Bishop Bobichette, they want to be like him, sort of thing, and they want to hit with him. They don't want to, they want to. So whether he's always hitting, they want to be just like that. They all want to work together, which is nice. It's like a forward line.
Yeah.
Those are the
And
guys.
that's the cool thing, right? Those guys all came up together. They all played in Buffalo, like the Gurriel, Biggio, Bichette, Vladdy. Like that's your core, right? And these guys have kind of come up together. They all kind of broke in at the same time. It's awesome to see them playing so well. Biggio would be nice to see kind of get it figured out. That they've always been talking about how good his eye is and everything. And he's just having a hard time hitting the ball right now. I don't imagine that'll stick around too long, but it's hard to say, right? Like baseball, like it's such a mental game, and when guys fall into those slumps, it's tough to get out of sometimes. But
yeah, usually it's the last couple of games too. Did you see like their strikeouts? A lot of Ks.
Well, they have they got the major league record again for strikeouts in the first games. They K way too much, but
but they're trying, right? They're trying to hit. They're not. But
and the thing is that there's some pretty good at bats, right? It'd be one thing if you're just going up there and like swinging 3 strikes, like first 3 pitches or whatever. But they're taking some pretty good at bats. They're getting most of the pitchers pretty high up in their pitch count. I didn't see today, but Cole was still throwing he'd still been throwing in the 7th. I don't know where he finished. They hit him in the first. They got a run on him in the first inning, and then he shut it down the rest of the way. And you kind of expect that. He's maybe the best pitcher in the AL, probably the best pitcher in the AL, really. So, tough loss there. You don't expect to score too many runs. A 3-1 loss against the Yankees and Cole isn't that bad. Obviously, you want to win. But we'll see. We're now even with the Yankees for the year, but 2-2, I think. So, see how the rest of the series goes.
I saw a picture, and I didn't verify if it's true or not. I think it was on Friday night. I saw it. Odor.
How about to
the Yankees? They picked him up.
Who?
Odor. From, Texas, right?
From Texas. Yeah. And you see that? And he had to shave his face.
Yeah.
You see that? He looks like
I did.
It's so weird looking.
Yeah.
I always forget that, right? Like when they got Johnny Damon and he had to cut his hair and shave his face, and it's like watching it's like watching Jesus cut his hair and shave his face. Yeah. But O'Toole, he looks like it's so weird. He just so used to that dirty looking facial hair he had.
Yeah,
he just looks like a baby now. It's weird. But yeah, that'll be fun with that rivalry. You get to see a lot more of him.
Yeah.
But
I was thinking about Dickey from the Jays knuckle puck. Are there any more knuckle puck throwers out there in the majors at least right now?
Knuckleball.
Knuckleball. Yeah, sorry.
Knuckle puckers.
Knuckle puckers out there.
There's a couple of knuckleballers. There's not too many. I think there's one on Kansas City. I know there's 1 or 2 that are still kicking around there, but nobody that's, to my knowledge, nobody that's like a straight knuckleballer anymore. Like Dickey would throw a knuckleball and a fastball. That'd be pretty much it. Tim Wakefield back in the day. But there's not many. There's not too many of them. But I love those guys. Those knuckle puckers.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Anything else you want to talk about? We were talking about we kind of talked about the Masters a little bit, but anything else fun you want to chat?
Besides just sticking to Toronto teams, but the Raptors are obviously still struggling, having a hard time right now with all their guys, and whether it's injuries, but just overall, I was watching the game last night, I believe it was, and a lot of new faces on the team too, right? But
big time.
The season's kind of done for them, and it's too bad. But
well, the thing with the way they did it is kind of like with this whole COVID thing and how things are going, they still have an opportunity to play their way into the playoffs, right? There's that whole play-in thing. So they're not completely out of it, but the way they've been playing, they might as well be. It hasn't been pretty. Man, I think was it last night I was sending you that message. Did you watch the game last night?
The end of it, more the end of it.
So if you watch the fourth, I was listening on the radio, and somebody hit a three, and then they took the points off the board like 3 minutes later. I guess there was a timeout or
Yes,
something,
I saw your comment. Yeah,
and I'd never seen any. Even though they were comment, I'd never seen anything like that. Like it wasn't asked to be under review. It wasn't whatever. Apparently, like you can review if it was a three or a two, but
yeah,
apparently he stepped out of bounds. But it was like well after, like it wasn't even the last play. It was minutes and minutes after, and they just took the points off the board, and that was a big swing because at that point I
yeah,
think the
yeah,
Raptors were up 90-82 or something, and then it dropped these 3 points off the board. It turns to 87-82, and then they kind of just lost it from there. But it
yeah.
was just a weird thing, and and on that note, I don't know if you saw the Philly game last night where
Mm.
Bomb slid in at home at the end. It was a very close play at the plate. They review it. They called him safe on the play. They review it. It looked pretty clear that he actually stepped over home and like missed home plate on the slide.
Oh
And
yeah,
they still called him safe, and it was to win the game. So the whole instant replay thing isn't perfect. It's not the robots aren't flawless either. And
yeah,
I mean, I guess there's still human error on that. But
yeah, yeah.
yeah, just interesting how stuff like that. I don't know, kind of messes with the game to me. I think, if you make a call, I don't like that you can go back 5 minutes or previous and change it. I don't think
No, yeah,
it's kind of messes with the integrity of the game. I think.
yeah. Might as well just take the refs right out, play the game, and then have somebody watch the game later and make different calls. Say, actually, the score would have been this, because this
Yeah,
was offside, or this was, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, exactly.
we won, but we'll
So,
wait for the real results to come in.
and you know what? It's almost like it's heading that way, which is absolutely ludicrous. And I hope it doesn't get that way. But there's so much on that now, right? Like I get it. The replay,
Yeah,
it's needed for some points, but getting out of control a little bit the same breath.
yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah,
it's good that hockey kind of went away from it. Back in the day, if your toe was in the crease, they were calling back goals, and it got out of control. And I'm glad they got rid of that.
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah. The crease rule
yeah,
was interesting.
nuts.
Well,
But yeah, anyway, enough on that rant. Uh, but yeah, the Raptors. Back to the Raptors. They're pretty hurting. Gary Trent Jr. though, I think there's a lot of potential with this kid, man. Like, kind of heard a little bit about him coming in, but he's had some pretty wild games, and he's looked pretty solid for them a bit.
yeah, he came in, and like I saw the first game that I saw him play, and it was almost like, okay, let's see what he can do. But he kind of stepped up. Like, he came in and he's showing that it's not just, hey, I'm here to play for the Raptors, but he's like, I'm going to show you guys what I can do, and he's taken the team on his shoulders pretty much, and he's doing really well.
Yeah, because that's the other thing. The Raptors are hurting, but they're hurting. Like Lowry's been out, and Van Vliet's been out, and holy Jesus, some fucking weird bug just landed on my paper here. Sorry, freaked me out. I don't know what that was, but it was too big for me. Now it's like crawling somewhere near my feet. I don't know what it is. Jesus. All right. Well, hopefully, if you see me freaking out, it's because it's crawling at my leg and
Right behind you.
fuck. Anywho, that was so. I have no idea where that thing came from. It's just like throw me off. Anyway, the Raptors are hurting. they're yeah, a lot of guys are injured. I think OG's still out too. Like they still have a fairly solid team.
Yeah,
It's just
yeah,
crazy to think, they're only 2 years removed from that championship team that basically was dismantled. And we know
yeah.
that Kawhi was like, he was the man there, but we saw even with him gone, and after they traded, they still had the
Oh,
depth. They still had a solid roster.
yeah,
They still could put it together, and they
yeah.
they haven't moved that much since.
No,
So I think when they're healthy, they'll be okay. But I'm hearing a lot of talk about the tank, like like try and
Yeah.
take the losses. Let's get a high draft pick, and they need to. Well, they do need to retool, and that's
Yeah.
the NBA draft is only two rounds, right? So those high picks are key. And I think that I believe it's a pretty solid draft class this year in the NBA.
Yeah.
So be interesting. And I don't know. I don't know where to go with the Raptors at this point. Like Lowry's a free agent at the end of the year. I'm hoping he said he said no matter what he's going to retire a Raptor. So whether it be that he went somewhere else and then signed a 1-day contract, but I'm hoping that he resigns and plays out the rest of his career here.
Yeah, why not? He's still solid and
Yeah.
good fan favorite, and
he's one of those
no
guys
issues
too.
here.
Like he's a like yeah, like he plays hard and he's going to be a leader. He's the captain of that team. It'd be nice to see him stick around regardless. He's kind of passed the torch, I think, to Van Vliet. He's going to be the guy going forward, I would say.
Yeah.
But Lowry's still got that leadership. He's still got that toughness. He still plays hard, and I'd love to see him stick around.
Yeah, me too.
Cool. All right, man. Well, I think that's probably pretty good. Unless you got anything else you want to talk about.
Marleau plays tonight. He'll have 4 games left to tie Gordie Howe. So
nice. Yeah, talk about that because we haven't mentioned that on the show, and you're bringing it up all the time. So yeah, talk about that sweet record.
Yeah, I think after tonight he'll have 4 games left, and I think it was April 19th or something was the game where he'll tie Gordie Howe for most games played. So it's exciting. Like I say, I'm a huge fan. So my collection of Marleau stuff. I got a couple of jerseys in the background right there.
There you go.
Yeah,
nice.
But no, it's good for him, and it's good for the game, right? Some things, records being broken or met, and so yeah, it's going to be cool the next few weeks to see him climb that and hit that peak.
And that
Ovi too.
That's wild. That'll be something that we'll definitely get into. But yeah, I do want to talk about Marleau because that is incredible. You think of Gordie Howe and the career he had, and the decades. The dude played like 4 decades of hockey, professional hockey, and that was a record. Gretzky's got all kinds of records that were like, no, we're never going to see those get touched. But that Howe record, I didn't expect to see broken in my lifetime. And the fact that it's going to happen, unless it's going to happen, regardless of if he'll come back next year if he breaks his leg tomorrow. Like, he's gonna break that record at this point, right? Like, and it's pretty unbelievable. It's just kind of quietly done it, right? Like he's just been around for what, like 20 years now, or more than 20 seasons in the NHL.
Yeah,
pretty consistently. Like people are like, well, nice record. That's impressive. That's like as impressive as scoring 500 or 700 goals in the NHL. Like you have to really, you gotta be tough. You gotta avoid injury. Like that's
mentally, physically,
for sure. Like you're in your 40s. A lot of guys are retired. Like a lot of guys are retired by now. He's still playing a fantastic game. He's not just an old guy on the bench, leading a team or anything. Like he's still relevant. He can still skate. Like still a solid player.
Yeah, and he got a goal the other night, and that put him. He was tied for 25th or something like that with a couple players, and so that put him ahead. Instead of standing alone, I think 23rd with most goals in NHL. Yeah.
So yeah, it's pretty cool to see that, man, and that will be really exciting. We don't see a whole ton of records get broken anymore, and as you say with Ovechkin, man, like he's got a legit shot at that Gretzky the goals record, and that is one that I never thought we'd see anything close to it. And the fact that we're sitting here being like, Ovi's not showing any signs of slowing down, man. Like, the dude still scores. Like, he's still scoring 30, 40 goals a year. He's going to chase it at this point. Like, he's going to chase it. He'll play as long as they let him.
Why not?
Yeah, why
Yeah,
not? He's
exactly.
still a goal scorer. He's still good. Like it'll be really neat to see. And even if he doesn't do it, like he's got a couple good excuses, man. He went through a lockout. He went through this COVID shit. He's
True.
had a lot of good stuff where it's just like, he's missed some prime seasons and some prime opportunities. So
Yeah,
it'll be an argument that Ovi might be the best goal scorer in the history of the game.
yeah,
And you could
and
make that
it's
argument.
yeah, and it's only been 15, 16 years. Again, he could have another 5 years under his belt here,
For
right?
sure.
He'll definitely be second in most goals.
Oh
He
yeah,
definitely
no
will hit
doubt.
that. Yeah,
Yeah. And I think
which
he's getting fairly close at this point even, right? Like,
yeah, oh yeah.
I have to take a look at that.
I think he's
But yeah,
almost
it's
like he's like
super
a couple
exciting.
goals away
So,
from yeah. I think he's a couple goals from top five. Um,
well, yeah, it's pretty neat. Some of these records that are getting caught up, but yeah, man, it's strange times. And the whole, just to kind of sidetrack to this, the NHL and how it has been this year. Um, with like how have you found the league with the North Division and the way the divisions are made this year? What do you think
it
about that, how it's been
uh,
going?
it works, right? At least it's something that was able to be put together so they can play hockey, which is good. But I
Mhm.
always think about once playoff time comes, once they start having to play, right? When you get to the semis and that, and then to the Stanley Cup final, you're playing. You're used to playing the same teams for the whole year, sort of thing. And then you're starting to, there's different teams, there's different patterns, there's different ways of playing because you're used to playing, Montreal 10 times. But then you go battle some of those other teams that you haven't seen them all year. It's going to be different. Definitely is. It's not going to be easy. We know that the Leafs are up there, and I think they're second. Well, not anyway. I was second in the league with wins, and they're doing really well. But yeah, it's
Yeah,
going to be a challenge to get there.
for sure, man. And I've been doing the same thing, thinking about that a lot too. It's going to be weird, right? Like no matter who it is, I think about it a lot as the Leafs going outside of the North divisions and how that'll play out. And now there is something that I never put much thought into, but in the U.S., everybody's getting their vaccinations, everybody's getting, everything's all good.
Mm-hmm.
But here in Canada, like these guys can't get it yet, right? Like it's they're. I figured it's the NHL. They're gonna break all the rules. All these guys will just get it, and that's how it'll work.
Yeah,
But it's not going
yeah,
that way. Like they're not getting special treatment, and they're talking about when the playoffs hit, like maybe they'll have to do a bubble. And some of the American teams are like, no way, man. Like we're not doing that.
yeah,
So it'll be really interesting as to how this works. Like we're in really completely different worlds than the States right now. Like it's
yeah,
a whole different world. So it'll be weird, like the traveling thing once it's outside of, like you said, once they get into the semifinals and stuff, and they have to go outside of Canada, how that's going
but
to
yeah,
work.
they have to quarantine for 2 weeks or something like that. Like yeah.
Yeah, it's going
So
to
I'm
be
sure they
really
have.
interesting.
Yeah, I'm sure they have. The NHL has some plans already in place, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, and there's been talks about it, so I think that they're trying to figure it out. So hopefully it'll work. But I am very intrigued as to the Leafs look good. They're the best team in the North Division, and I mean, who's to say they even get out of it? It's a tough division, right?
It
Like
is like
losing to Montreal tonight. The Jets are good. Vancouver, who knows where they'll be?
yeah, that's going to be interesting. That story there of what's going to happen, but
Yeah,
and then Edmonton,
Eh,
right? Like it's not going to be easy.
yeah, yeah. No, for sure. So it's super intriguing. I do love again, like we are kind of talking about the trades. I love everything that they did with
Mm-hmm.
the trades leading up, and man, again, Dubas, man, if you don't give that guy credit, I don't know what's wrong with your head. The
Yeah,
magic that guy pulled off with this tiny budget that he had left to do, again, bringing Foligno in at 25% of his salary, like that's stuff of genius. Did you see how that trade went down? It was like a three-way trade, and they gave what was it, a first and a fourth to Columbus.
mm-hmm.
Then they gave a fourth to San Jose. San Jose retained 25% of his salary. Columbus retained 50% of his salary. And then Toronto got him, and shit. They ended up getting somebody from San Jose too, who we
Yeah, I
didn't
saw
even
that.
talk
Yeah.
about. I didn't even put him on the list, but I
No,
think he's another solid depth player. Like Riley Nash, we didn't talk about. Like they're too deep. The Leafs, like I'd have a hard time being Sheldon Keefe right now because I mean I'd have a fun time trying to put that lineup together. But like
yeah.
you're going to be sitting a couple guys that just have no business sitting on the sitting on the
Yeah.
on the sidelines.
Yeah,
Like
it's we're
be
good, but how can we take it to that little bit more? And they got it. They definitely got it.
right, 100%. And that's and I was said it on the last show that if it was kind of under the radar, and Nick Foligno, to me, I was like, that's like the perfect fit for this team.
Yeah.
You don't need another goal scorer. You need like another grinder. And like, man, and you just, I think about this team, like Matt talked about Alex Galchenyuk, like he's been phenomenal since he's been there. You can
Yeah.
roll, like you got Matthews and Marner playing together. Whoever you put there, it doesn't
Yeah.
matter. It's going to be awesome. And then
Yeah.
Tavares and Nylander are kind of in the same thing. Like, put whoever there.
Yeah.
I love like I think I was looking at stuff where they're talking about sitting Simmons or Thornton. Like, no, don't, that shouldn't even be a thought. Like
No.
this team is so deep, man. Speza's still
Yeah.
playing well. Like I just cannot wait to see what kind of rosters they put out in the playoffs.
Yeah. I know over the years
It's gonna be
they've
exciting.
they've had some good talent, they've got some scoring, they've got some fast guys, but they've had a hard time getting tough, right? And not fighting tough, but
Yeah,
just big guys that can hit,
just
that can
grit.
push around. That exactly. And now they've done that, right? They got Muzzin and Bogosian, which is I think is an awesome pickup.
Big. Yeah,
Thornton, Simmons, right?
yeah,
And so it's Foligno now. It's good. They've
yeah.
got guys who can push and
Big
compete with
time.
teams like Boston and Philly,
Hmm.
who are guys who push around. So it's
Yeah,
good.
there was a cool comment about that today that they went out and they picked up some of the guys that have eliminated them and been problems to them for the last few years, right? Like Bogosian and
Yeah,
Foligno, and I think even Riley Nash I think was in Boston when they took him out too. So like just these guys that are you don't think too much about what they contribute, but those fourth line, that checking line, and the guys that are banging, those are the dudes that make the difference in the playoffs. When you're hitting it, like
yeah,
hitting the guys that have the puck, and then the other team starts thinking about, man, maybe they don't want to hang on to the puck too long because I'm about to get crushed. Like Foligno's that
exactly.
kind of
Yeah,
guy. Like you said, Thornton, like you forget about the toughness there. Simmons is like perfect for this team. I was saying that last
yeah,
year, like he was the number one guy that I would have went after. I just, man, I kudos to Dubas because I think he's just put together a phenomenal team here, and they don't have any holes. You look at
no,
this team right
exactly.
now, like tell me where the hole is. Everyone's talking about the defense for years. That defense core is solid now. You said you got Muzzin, you got Brody, you got Riley, you got Bogosian, you got Dermott. Now the Ben Hutton too.
Yeah,
Like he's probably their seventh defenseman. Like
yeah, yeah.
it's that the team is deep and it's exciting, and they're
And
all
the
in,
thing,
right? Like
exactly. Yeah,
this is the year.
and
They're playing for the cup.
yeah, and you look at Campbell, and he's the backup, but he's got the streak was going on there. It's ending tonight, but you watch him, and he's not just a backup goalie. He's
No,
consistent.
yeah,
He's in the net, and he's focused, and he's consistent like a number one goalie.
agreed.
Hutchinson and Riddick will be, if they do play him, he'll be good as a
Yeah,
backup, but not to what the Leafs really need. And he's definitely number one. And if he's the number two guy, if Anderson comes back, definitely number two you want on your team.
for sure. Yeah, and that's the other thing, right? Like that's what I kept saying. Like, okay, you got Campbell, you got Anderson, you got a great one too, but then one got hurt, then they both got hurt, and it's like, oh man, what are you gonna do if that happens? But I think with
Yeah,
Riddick now, like he's proven. He played when Calgary made the playoff run. and they were, one of the better teams in the league 2 years ago.
Yep.
Like the last couple of years, he was kind of the guy for a bit there.
Yeah. He's a solid goalie.
He is. So I think with those three, I mean, you're in a pretty good spot. But like Matt was saying, I don't know what's going on with Anderson. It's very weird. I have no idea what's happening there, but he's a. Go ahead, Josh.
Oh, I was just talking to somebody else at work, and it's just like, there's maybe something we don't know, but Anderson, like, his injury may be worse than it is. But again, getting Riddick, you got to create that backup just in case.
Yeah, there's some. Oh shoot! Sorry. It's tough with it, yeah, because no idea what's going on there. And I heard a couple weeks ago that he was done for the season, and now it's like, no, he's going to be back. And again, I'm wondering if it might be a mental thing too. Like his head didn't seem to be in the game for a while there, and maybe it was because he was injured. Who knows? But yeah, it's they're keeping that one pretty close to the chest there, not really letting a lot known. So we'll see what happens there. But even without Anderson, and as good as he is, like obviously you want him there, regardless if they're doing a 1A or even if he's back up, you want him there. But I think now, even with him gone, they'll be okay. They'll be in an okay spot.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I do like Campbell. I think Campbell could easily be a number one goalie. You can't do anything with him.
Yeah.
But I think Campbell's a number one. I really do. Like he's got all the makings to be a number one goalie. So I like that spot that they're in with that. Go Leafs, go.
Yeah. Right on.
Cool. Well, that was a fun time. Thanks for hopping on with me because it would have been weird for me talking by myself.
Yeah. No, that was awesome. Thanks for the invite. Definitely do it again.
Yeah, we'll get you back with Matt there, and we can all have a nice, fun little chat together. And thanks, man. And thank you for always putting your comments in. It's always good to see you watching. And thank you for being here, buddy. Yeah, and take Vader's up on that offer. That's a pretty sweet deal. I don't know why I made it to you.
Yeah,
nice.
Because I own money.
Yes.
I'll probably take him up on that. To do some research first.
You can't not.
No.
I mean, I guess you could.
It's a win-lose, but I don't lose as much.
You still lose. I guess if you lose, you still lose.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's true. You did say 50% of it. It's not a no-brainer, really.
Yeah.
But anywho, on that note, Josh, great seeing you, buddy.
All right, you too.
And take care. And thanks for watching the Money Line, y'all.
No problem. Have a good night.
You too.